listeners, you're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey.
Hello, everyone.
We're broadcasting live from the unceded territory of the Stolo Nation, broadcasting across the Fraser Valley on 101.7 FM. If you're new to the show, I'll explain a little bit about Unlocking Your Truth. It's a talk show. It's about metaphysics and spirituality. And every week we choose a different topic under that general umbrella. And our goal is to inspire you, increase your awareness, educate you, and assist you in anything to do with helping you understand metaphysics and spirituality, develop your intuition, and really
all that good stuff.
Yeah, all that good stuff. And tonight I posted on our Awaken Your Psychic Abilities Facebook group, because if you're not live streaming from the Facebook group, you can join it and get this show live and actually watch us live. So I posted and I asked people to give me some suggestions on what they'd like to talk about. I didn't get any responses tonight except for a question. So people, feel free to type in your comments now what you'd like to talk about. But it seems like I was looking at some of the conversations that people have been having on there. And of course, you're talking about the virus. And so I thought maybe we could talk about intuition in a crisis and how not to be overtaken by fear, and how can your intuition assist you to help you feel safe and stay sane, really. So
spirituality is a virus too, isn't it? It catches on and gets internal.
Well, everyone has their own unique version of it, their own unique version of the truth, really. So I don't think it's a virus in the same sense as COVID-19 is. So put thumbs up, everyone, if you think that that's what you'd like to talk about, or if you'd rather talk about something else. We can switch around. So, and I will just start talking. I've lost my thing. Give me a second.
What'd you lose?
Yeah, I lost my Zoom. So
You lost Zoom?
No, I found it again now.
Okay.
So how can intuition help us in a crisis? So let's talk about it. I mean, I think one of the biggest things is, at least my way of teaching and developing intuition involves meditation. So
you got lots of stuff here. Yeah, Stephanie says, LOL, I was planning on joining, but this literally popped up in a new window. I love where she's going already. Would you like to hear about how to not attach? I would like to hear about how to not attach to the fear going on in the collective consciousness. And right. Carol says, it's Carol and Shane. Can you guide us through a grounding meditation experience? Yes.
Yes, I will. And I might leave that to section 2, Carol and Shane. And maybe we'll talk our way into it. But I was planning on doing that tonight. So thank you for that validation, because I'd love to talk us through a grounding meditation. So let's just talk a little bit, and people can ask their questions as well as we go along.
Okay.
So how could intuition help? And the first thing that occurs to me is that to access your intuition is it's a process of meditation and learning how to meditate. That's how I teach it. Because your intuition is not out there in the physical world, in all of the noise in the physical world. It is within you, and it is by turning within that you access your own higher information. So right there's a meditation practice involved. And right now, I think that we really all could do with knowing how to meditate and how to turn within and how to calm our minds, calm our emotions, quiet our minds, and not allow all the fear and panic that is out there to overwhelm us. So, intuition can help you because it helps you turn within. It helps you tune out the noise in the physical world so that you can tune into that still small voice within you that is the voice of your higher self. So that's one way, one massive way that intuition can help you in a crisis. And of course, another way is your intuition is going to give you a clear perspective on what's really going on. I was reading what some of you were writing in the Facebook group, and somebody was talking about the media and how the media stirs it up. And it's true, you can't go onto any of the news websites. Every single article they write is about COVID-19 at the moment, so it's plastered all over the place. And so and then there are, whether you're into conspiracy theorists, or whether you believe the government, or whether you like listening to some educated doctor, or whatever it is, there is so many messages coming at you from all directions. It's hard to know what to believe. And the only way that you can really tune into the correct information for you is through your intuition. So your intuition can help you right there. And I would also say, there is no one truth. There is no one truth. And I'll explain. So different streams of information are correct to different people, depending on where they're at and what resonates with them. We are all unique aspects of divine consciousness, but we are aspects of divine consciousness. And together we make the collective of the human collective consciousness. But the oneness which contains everything, is more than we are. So each of us as an individual can only have our unique individual perspective. So that's why you can have all of these different people believing in a conspiracy theory about the virus, and that's the right information for them. And that's part of their life journey right here, right now. And you can have other people believing in, I don't know, get the military on the streets, or all of those different perspectives are valid and appropriate for different people. So how do you find out what yours is? How do you not get indoctrinated by all of those other voices that are out there? And the answer is by tuning into your intuition. It will give you a really clear perspective. Well, it will give you your perspective in a clear way. You will know yourself, and you will know your own higher mind. So that's the second way in which intuition can help you. And then how can intuition help you not to be overtaken by fear, which is what somebody was writing in our chat.
Yes, Carol was asking that.
Yeah, so through meditation.
Oh, I'm sorry, it wasn't Carol.
No,
it was Stephanie.
Yeah,
Stephanie.
So meditation, and by knowing your own information, but also I might add, by focusing on yourself, which happens automatically when you meditate and when you turn within to access your own intuition. And I'll tell you why that's so very powerful. If you focus on yourself, and when I say yourself, I mean this physical body personality aspect of yourself, the you that's watching this. If you focus on yourself through your breath, through being aware of your physical nature, it will bring you into the present moment. And that is the most powerful place that you can be. And how does that help you with fear? There are many reasons why we become afraid. One big reason is fear of the future, fear of what's coming down the pipe. Everything is so unknown right now. What is going to happen? Will we survive? Will my family survive? Will the economy ever recover? Is it going to completely collapse? All of those future time questions. And if you project your mind in that way into the unknown, you can go there. Spirit can go there. Spirit is outside of time and space. It can be in the future, but your body can't. Your body can only be right now. So what happens when you project your consciousness into those future time scenarios that don't exist? Your body gets really afraid. Your body gets really afraid. So you can help get out of fear by being in the present moment. Now, that may not be the only source of fear. You may have some things in your internal programming that mean that you've got a lot of survival stuff. And right now, all your survival stuff is going to be lit up. So maybe when you were a child, your family was poor, or maybe you've been through some kind of serious illness, or whatever it is for you. We've all got some level of survival stuff. And the first chakra, which relates to survival, it's really being stirred up right now. And so, your intuition can help you with that, because it can help you to read yourself and see yourself and see, oh, I'm feeling this way because this hot button, I'm being triggered. This button of my past is being triggered. And the intuition and the meditation can then help you, because with that knowledge, you can then say, so I'll release it, because that also is from the past, and that doesn't belong in the now moment either. So healing yourself from the past, pulling your energy back into the present out of the future, are all things that can really help you not to reduce the fear. And then tuning into your own information. And I want to ask you all who's listening live so think about right now, just pause, everyone listening, but those listening live, you can type and tell me, what are the questions that you're asking? What are the questions that are going around in your mind? And while you're thinking of them and letting Corey and I know what they are, because we'll look at them in the second half, I'm going to read some out. So, are we being told the truth, or are we being lied to? Are we being given the full set of facts? Is what's portrayed in the media accurate? Is the media stirring it up into a frenzy? Are we all overreacting? Or is this the correct and measured response? Is humanity headed for a disaster? Or is this the beginning of a huge transformation where we will all become an awakened species at the end of it? Is my business going to fail? Am I going to have enough money to survive? Am I going to lose my job? Will my loved ones be all right? What about my elderly parents or the old people I know? Will they survive? Was the virus formed naturally, or was it engineered in a laboratory? And on and on and on and on. And a lot of them are fear-based questions. And I really would like you all to just tell me what your fears are. What fears have been coming up for you? Maybe you feel responsible for your family. Maybe you're afraid you can't help them. So let us know, because what I'd like to do in the second half of the show is to do a meditation like Carol and Shane have asked us to do, but to incorporate some of your own questions so that you get to use your own intuition and access your own information to answer your own questions. Are we getting any juicy questions, Corey?
Got a couple.
Cool.
We got a comment from Loretta, and she says, now is all we're guaranteed. And Steffi says, thank you. May we have a reminder of a simple tool other than meditation to increase our intuition? And Steffi wants to know, how can I move?
So I think, Steffi, you've probably got some programming about meditation and what meditation is. Meditation is not just one thing. There are many different forms of meditation. Okay. And, you know, maybe what I'll say is, rather than say we're going to do a meditation, we're going to do an intuition exercise. They're exactly the same thing. You know, and so so let's see. Let's try and go beyond words here. What you need to do is quiet your mind, calm your emotions, turn within, tune out the physical, tune into the non-physical, deprogram yourself from all beliefs and limits that would interfere with you accessing your intuition. Let go of doubt, bypass the intellectual mind that will always interject doubt and make things linear when the intuition is multidimensional. You know, and there's more, and let go of fear. Now, the best way I know to do all of those things is through meditation. It may not be the same form of meditation that you've encountered, Steffi, because there are many. And so the exercises I teach, and I refer to them as meditation, are the ancient mystery teachings. Okay, so they are visualization techniques. They are activities where we are consciously working with energy and manipulating energy, where we are learning how to activate our third eye, where we are learning how to heal ourselves and release non-beneficial energies. And it's a whole process based on turning within and working with energy internally. So we don't have to call it meditation. That's just a label. And so let all labels go, and let's say we're going to do an exercise after the break. All right. I think it might be
Speaking of break, we should be going to a break.
So let's go for a break. And listeners, you're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey. We're talking about tonight about how not to be overtaken by fear and how to use your intuition in a crisis. We will be back after these messages. I'm going to give you all a moment, if you do have questions, to write them in.
Yeah, we got there's a lot of questions here.
Okay, cool. Are they questions for the intuition exercise or questions for...
A little bit of both.
Okay. So when we come back after the break, I'll get you to read out the questions for the intuition exercise, because I'll incorporate them into the intuition exercise. Oh, all right. Welcome back, listeners. You are tuning into Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and with Corey.
Me.
Yay. And on tonight's show, we're talking about intuition in a crisis, how not to be overtaken by fear. And before the break, we asked our live streaming participants to let us know some of the questions that they've been asking at the moment, because we're going to do an intuition exercise aimed at helping everyone tune into their own unique perspective. So can you give me a couple?
Sure. One from Carol says, why did this happen again after almost 100 years after the Spanish flu? Why the government seems to never be prepared? I think that's a great question. But how can I stop pondering the worst possible scenario with the worst possible outcome? That's from Loretta Ann. And this is actually has, it doesn't sound like one, but it is one when you ponder it a little bit. Jess says, will my visa be extended? I'm in Malaysia. I already strongly feel that I am right where I need to be. All is being worked out by Spirit for the highest good.
Okay. Thank you, folks. So we'll do an intuition exercise now. I just want to comment on Loretta's question, because that's a really good question. You know, we create our reality through our mass consciousness. And we can, through our mass consciousness, move forward into different timelines, depending on where what we visualize for ourselves. And so it's really important that we practice that we practice focusing on the positive outcome that we want to see, because in doing so we will help create the positive outcome that we want to see. And by the way, if you're listening to this and you didn't check out the world meditation that we did not last Sunday but the Sunday before, it's on my YouTube channel and it's going to be on my website. So I strongly suggest that, because that's helping us be very proactive about raising the energy vibration everywhere on the planet.
It is on the website, by the way. I'll put the link in the chat.
Okay, all right. And then in the third part of the show, we'll answer some personal questions. But for now, let's do this meditation. Thank you, Shane and Carol, for suggesting that we do so. So I will just invite you to take a deep breath in and a deep breath out. And a deep breath in. And a deep breath out, and close your eyes. And let's just very simply, I want you to just notice how just even focusing on your breath can bring you into the present moment. Because if you focus on your breath, you're focusing on your body, because it's your body that's breathing. And that's why so many schools of meditation ask you to focus on the breath. It brings you into present time. It's the narrow gate that Jesus talked about. It stops you projecting into the future or obsessing over the past. Just be present right here, right now, focusing on the breath. And continue breathing deeply throughout this meditation. And be aware of an energy center near the base of your spine. And create a flow of energy from the energy center near the base of your spine to the center of the new earth. The center of the new earth that is forming now. So allow that flow of energy to go through the chair that you are sitting in, the floor of the room, the levels and layers of the earth, until it reaches the center of the new earth. And as you do that, as you project that grounding cord from your first chakra to the planet's core, notice how that pulls you even more deeply into your body and pulls you even more deeply into the present moment. Notice how your body starts to relax because you are now more fully with your body. Bodies don't like to be abandoned and left to cope. So ground so that you can be right here, right now, and start to take charge of your reality, and together take charge of our mass reality. We're talking about how your intuition can help you with fear. So I want you right now to just, let's focus your conscious awareness in the center of your head. Center of your head is your third eye. This will stimulate your clairvoyance. Okay, so I want you to sit in the center of your head. And from the center of your head, scan yourself, right? Scan your energy field, scan your body, and notice anywhere you are afraid. Is there fear in your system? Where is it? And from the center of your head, observe that fear. Maybe there are thoughts that you're having, negative thought projections. Maybe it's an emotion that you're having. Maybe it's somebody else's panic that's in your space. Whatever it is, in a way, it doesn't matter what the origin is. We can take care of it. And how we take care of it? Release it down the grounding cord. This is a flow of energy from your first chakra to the center of the earth. This planet, one of the roles of the planet is to recycle energy. So let the planet recycle this fear. Send it to the center of the earth. Do that now. And just breathe deeply and relax and feel that fear dropping away down the grounding cord. And also allow a bright sun of energy to appear above the top of your head, and allow that to be the highest healing vibration of energy for you. And let a column of light emanate from that sun and shine on you in a column of light that goes from the top of your head to the bottom of your feet and continues on down that grounding. And allow the light from that sun to help you wash away your fear and raise your vibrational frequency. Fear is the lowest frequency on this planet. Doesn't help any of us to be in fear. We can't move when we're in fear. Steffi asked a question, why can't I move? Let go of your fear so that you are in flow, so that you are moving, so that you are changing. Now, I want to just invite you to sit and bask in this flow of energy, to have this stream of energy coming from the sun above your head, flowing down through your system and down your grounding cord, and be in the center of your head. And I want to give you some information about the center of your head and why that is going to help you in this very challenging time. So continue letting that energy flow, continue breathing, continue grounding and sending energy down your grounding. And then at the same time, you can just listen to a little bit of information. The center of your head is the seat of your soul within your physical body. When you seat your consciousness here, you are above the emotions. It's like sitting in the eye of the storm. There can be chaos around you, but you are calm, you are stable. The air is still when you are in the center of your head. So it helps you with the negative emotions that come up. It helps you rise above the emotional levels, yours and other people's. It also helps you connect with your intuition and get out of your intellect. It helps you not to doubt, because when you're in the center of your head, you are operating as spirit within the physical body instead of acting as a mind, a physical brain, thinking things. So it's very, 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 very powerful. Be in the center of your head and be releasing energy. And we're going to do another exercise where we're going to use our intuition by sitting in the center of the head, use our clairvoyance to answer some questions. And I call this the butterfly of truth. I want you to imagine or project with your consciousness the image of a butterfly. And just let that appear sort of out there in front of your forehead. And you can imagine that you're holding your hands out, your left hand and your right hand. And we're going to ask some questions. And the butterfly is going to give us the answers because it's going to land on the hand that contains the answer. So let's have the first question be, am I safe? Left hand, no, I'm not safe. Right hand, yes, I'm safe. Does your butterfly land on your left hand or your right hand? Are you safe? When you have your answer, send your butterfly back to the center. Are you loved? If you're not loved, it's going to go on your left hand. And if you are loved, it's going to go on your right hand. Get your answer. And then send the butterfly back to the middle. Are you supported? Left hand, no. Right hand, yes. Okay. Send your butterfly back to the center. So we'll ask the question that somebody gave us. Let's ask why. One of the parts of the question was, why do governments seem unprepared? So this time, ask your butterfly to fly and land somewhere that will give you a symbolic answer. Why do governments seem unprepared? And just see where your butterfly lands. Let's ask the butterfly, why did this happen again? Why do we have another pandemic when we've had a pandemic 100 years ago, was the other question. Let the butterfly land in another place that will give you a symbolic answer to that question. Okay. Now, I think we'll leave it there. So I want you to just let your butterfly fly away and then just focus on being in the center of your head and being grounded. Because we've answered Loretta's question, we've given us some tools to help not project. So the answer, why do I project, is because you're not grounded and centered. But if you're grounded and centered, then you wouldn't. All right, so release energy down your grounding. Now, and then take some deep breaths and open your eyes. Now, you may or may not have got clear answers, but I'm hoping that at least you got some information to say that you're safe, you're loved, and you're supported. I think for most of you, hopefully you validated that you're safe, loved, and supported. And then, people can, in the next break, you can put in the chat box what answers you got to those questions. So if you had trouble interpreting what your butterfly was doing, then you can ask me, and I will help you with that. All right. So and by the way, truth is subjective, like I was saying at the beginning of the show. We might ask the same question, and everyone might not get the same answer. Everyone might get different aspects of a similar answer, or even some quite different answers. And it doesn't necessarily mean that information, one person's information is correct and the other person's information is incorrect, because we're all different. And we all need different information at different times, and we all need to believe different things at different times. Okay, so I think it's a really good time for a break. When we come back, we will answer your questions. Listeners,
Sounds good to me, Dr. Leslie.
Thank you. Listeners, you're tuning in to Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey. We'll be back after these messages. Give Corey a little bit of time to just check in with the messages that you've posted. And if you want to post a question, please do. Great.
Yeah, we've got a couple of things.
Okay, so
I think everybody was listening to your meditation.
Well, I'll bring us back, and I can see someone said that they felt supported, so that's good.
7:39.
Okay. Welcome back, listeners. You're tuning into Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie and Corey. And tonight, our show is about intuition in a crisis and how not to be overtaken by fear in times such as we are living in. And so we've talked about that, and we've done an exercise in helping people to use their intuition to let go of fear and to validate that they are safe, which may help them not to go into fear. And I don't see who this is, but I am seeing that somebody said that they did feel safe, loved, and supported. Because you're safe, loved, and you are, we all are loved and we're all supported. Even if we don't think there are physical people around us that are loving us and supporting us, there's tremendous spiritual support for us. Okay, Corey, so do we have feedback from the meditation and or questions?
So I got Steffi says, I appreciate that I'm safe, loved, and supported. Thank you. My answer is that this crisis is for a reason, to wake us up to new consciousness. Humans need trauma and challenges to wake us up in a big way. Loretta says, I keep seeing Saturn during the meditation. Carol says, so is everyone right if truth is always subjective? And Shelley says, feet and hands are sore. Any insight on and off, mild.
Okay, so
we also have one that came in earlier, and from George. Did you want me to read that one out as well?
Sure. Is it a long one, or shall I catch up with these and then read it?
Okay, that's the one that you sent me from George.
Oh, okay. Yeah, we can. So I just wanted to comment on something that Steffi said. Humans need trauma to evolve. We actually have a choice to create through trauma or not. And, you know, that's one of the things about, what should we call it? Becoming more awakened. An energy master on earth plane reality learns how not to go through such massive swings of ups and downs, because you're aware of the energy and you're managing the energy. Most humans are not highly evolved consciously, and so we are creating through trauma, but it ultimately is a choice. You can evolve through trauma or evolve through something more pleasant that is not trauma. It is what we're doing because that's the status of our consciousness. We don't have to do that. And then Loretta saw Saturn. That's interesting. You know, I'm not an astrologer, but you might want to look up what the Saturn influence is. I'll see if I can see anything about that. And what I'm getting is that what we're going through on this planet is affecting consciousness throughout our galaxy. It's affecting consciousness as it exists on other planets in our solar system. Doesn't mean it's the same kind of life form or consciousness that we are. And as a reference for you, Loretta, I'm thinking of Edgar Cayce, because in some of Edgar Cayce's channelings, he talked about the planets in our solar system as different stations of consciousness, where it's almost like we return to those different stations of consciousness following our earthly incarnations, and they have particular flavors of energy. And so I think that you may have been seeing Saturn because that there's the consciousness of Saturn that is having an influence on us right now. So it might be interesting to look up Edgar Cayce, but also someone who's a really good astrologer that can talk about Saturn as well. So Carol said, so if truth is subjective, is everybody right? So right and wrong is a human concept. Right and wrong is a human concept. Right and wrong belongs to duality. On earth, we're embedded in duality, so we think about right and wrong. If you go beyond duality into the true nature of the soul, there are no opposites. There is oneness and everything coexisting. So the idea of right and wrong doesn't even compute. It's not even relevant there. So and let's maybe use an example of, you know, you could have a lifetime as a murderer and a saint coming from the same soul stream. And we humans would go, I judge that murderer, they were bad and wrong, and I praise that saint, they were good and right. From the soul's perspective, they were earthly experiences that allowed me to expand in consciousness. No judgment at all. Okay. Next question. Shelley, with her hands and her feet. Okay, and I think she said they were numb or tingling. Well, what I get, Shelley, is that it looks like you're wanting to, it looks like you're sort of poised to, let's see how to say this. You could be running more earth energy through the feet chakras. I don't know if that makes any sense to you, but I'm just seeing that there's kind of an opening up of energy channels that's happening. And you're noticing the limits in those energy channels. So it's like there are limits here and I'm letting them go, and I'm opening them so more energy will flow. And through the feet, it's the earth energy, and through the hands, it's the creative energy and the healing energy. Okay, so I know we said we had a question from George, and I can see that there's some more comments as well.
Yes, there are. Let me just pull that one up. Do you want George's question first?
Sure, I can't even remember what that one was.
If there is no specific topic, she says, if a person passed away in a country and the relatives all moved to another country or passed, what happens with the soul? Is it sticking around? Is that person's soul following the alive relatives? If that soul is among people, for how long?
So what is happening here is what we were already talking about, that you in your human form are taking a linear perspective in attempting to understand the soul. The soul is not like a human wandering around from place to place. The soul is eternal, timeless, infinite. And so when a person passes on and absorbs back into that larger consciousness that they are, they can be connecting with any and all people, regardless that they wish to, regardless of where those people are. So an aspect of them can stay in connection with their loved ones, and other aspects of them are engaged in infinite other experiences simultaneously. Hope that answers that question.
Hope so too. I keep every once in a while I've got you on mute, so every once in a while I forget to unmute you before I speak. I mute myself, I should say. So Shelley says butterfly was pulling a veil off of the earth. That's interesting.
I think that's beautiful. I wonder which question that we asked that was in response to.
I think that's what you saw during your meditation, maybe.
Yes, but we asked questions when we were working with the butterfly, didn't we?
Oh yes, that's true.
That's beautiful. It just sounds like, I mean, it could mean so many things, that there's the veil of mass unconsciousness is being lifted, and it is, because in this pandemic we are really getting to have ourselves mirrored back. You know, what systems have we set up in this on this planet, and how are they working? Are they working for us? Are they evolved systems at all? And you know, whether it's the financial system, the healthcare system, the governments, scientific research, food supply, you name it, people are getting to wake up and question these things. And they're also getting down to brass tacks of what really matters and what's really important. So, I mean, that just feels like a veil of illusion being lifted off the planet. And you could also say it's like a healing image, isn't it? That the veil of the what is being meted out by this virus is also being lifted. So it's a very positive image, and thank you for sharing that with us.
Also, Steffi Black says, yes, Saturn has just moved into Aquarius, so we got our astrologer comment.
Oh, if anyone knows what the significant, I could guess, but I might get it wrong.
Sure. Okay, Carol says, when I seem to ground and put my body on pause, I feel like I get lost in the meditation in a good way. How would I grasp the meditation in a straight line, as it's not easy to center for me? Also drains my body when I come out of meditation. How can my body recover quicker?
She said, when I put my body on pause. Is that what she's?
Hang on a second. When I seem to ground and put my body on pause. Yeah, so she's basically going into her meditation. I feel like I get lost in the meditation in a good way. How would I grasp the meditation in a straight line, as it is not easy to center for me, I find. And she said, also drains my body when I come out of the meditation. How can my body recover quicker?
Sometimes what happens when you meditate is not that the meditation is depleting the body, but because you're coming more into the body, you are noticing what is already in your body. So it could be that you feel depleted after the meditation because you feel depleted, and the meditation has allowed you to notice that feeling of depletion. Now, I'm just going to do a quick plug for my book, and I think you've bought it already, Carol. I think you've bought it already, Carol. So there are other techniques in this book, fresh today off the press.
Brand new spanking book.
Yeah, and because what we want to do when we're meditating, we're releasing energy and we're replenishing that energy, right? We're clearing out what isn't us, and we're bringing in more of our own energy, and we are circulating energies from the cosmos and the planet through the system to refresh and replenish the system. So I'm sure you and Shane are going to buy this if you haven't done already. So you have, actually, I saw your name on the list. So there's a free course in here, and it's actually an online course. You get a link to it in the book, and it gives you some more techniques. So I think you'll find that helpful, Carol, in what you're asking about there.
Carol says yes.
Yeah. Thank you very much for buying it, by the way.
Shalonda says, and a reflection. Oh no, Shelley says, why it's a pandemic now was meditation. So I'm not 100% sure exactly what she meant by that.
Can you repeat it, please?
Why it's pandemic, unless that was the question. Why it's pandemic and now was meditation. Why it's a pandemic now was the meditation.
I don't understand that either.
I think it was one of the questions that she was looking at, right? Okay, and Shalonda says, and a reflection to pandemic. Butterfly landed on a windowsill, then moved to another windowsill. Butterfly found doorway, and once on the other side, and is to rest on the windowsill.
Yeah, actually, that's a good point, because one of the things I've been seeing in lots of clients this week, and I see ever since sort of the middle of last year, everyone seems to show up with a similar theme. And the theme in March is rest, pausing, resting, recuperating. That there's lots of people who are feeling fatigued, like they somehow can't push and force themselves like they used to. That and I think that the energy around all of us stay home, it's inviting us to take this time to decompress, to release the stuff we've been holding onto, to just really let it go. So that butterfly sounds like it was pausing. We are all pausing. We're all pausing. This is causing us to pause. And that pausing is beneficial if we choose to take advantage of that opportunity.
I hate to interject here, but we don't have much time, and I just want to get a couple quick things in. Loretta says Saturn is in Aquarius, reordering structure and developing innovation. And Kelly had a question, but we've got like 1 minute left. I get a lot of info in my dreams and also meditation and trance, and I feel like I'm only take some of it away. I remember the essence, but can't articulate it, so I lose some of it. Any tips?
Are you meditating from the center of your head? And are you doing it grounded? Because in your dreams, you're going into more multidimensional consciousness, and you will only bring back part of it anyway, because there's too much experience to bring back into the body. But there are techniques in working with the third chakra that you can actually pull out the dream pictures again and look at them. And if you're doing it in meditation, then I would say make sure you're grounded and in the center of your head. Because if you're drifting off and leaving the body as you're meditating, then you won't retain it. You need to be in the body to retain it.
And now, folks, it's time to go. Sorry for the quickness.
Everybody, and this is Dr. Leslie and Corey.
Dr. Leslie, it's shameless.
Unlocking Your Truth with Dr. Leslie, and here is, I'm just giving another quick plug for my book, Intuition and Chakras. by Llewellyn. I got my copies today. The official launch is the 8th of April. But you can buy it now, and you can get some extra prizes if you buy it now.
Yes.
It's on my website.
So see you next week, folks.
Bye.